On the last episode of Dice Funk.
And I'm gonna gingerly reach inside that unicorn.
You probably just need to consult like the most powerful person we know. As far as I know, that's Welch the Blue.
Let's just go to the Cascades. I think that's our best bet.
That's fair. I mean, if you had thrown me off the boat, I would shoot you in the head. So I appreciate you being cool about this, relatively. You might want to be careful, Alias. She has your sword. She looks very dangerous.
That's actually her sword.
Sildio begins showing you some of the stuff she learned.
I have to choose a discipline of wizardry to go into. Her background is that she is a blade singer. It's a division of wizardry that is focused upon combining the art of magic and the art of swordplay into a single unified motion.
She says, I can't believe that my dad might be dead and you kept that from me. Jem just shakes her head angrily, and then she jumps, and then she's flying, and she's off to the south.
Thought this was like a Lona scroll. It had to be on it. Who are you?
Yeah, that's me. What's up?
I'm Lavinia.
Don't think she has a monopoly on it. You both can be Lavinia if you want.
So if all you can do is give me information, give me all the information you got.
The portal you came through, which leads here to the Beastlands. A portal deep into the woods, which leads to the elemental plane of Earth in the Tiger Mountains, which leads to Hell in the Temple of Primus, appears to lead to the Demon Web Pits, a layer of the Abyss controlled by Lolth, the spider goddess. Drop, the human who is saturated with negative energy.
How does one close a portal?
You might have to kill them.
There's also a thing in the ocean.
It is a nexus of evil. Have you never heard of Detect Thoughts? You should be able to extract the information you need.
What if they find out I'm doing it?
I think this is going to be something you have to do against their will. Yeah, are these guys with you?
What?
Looking anxiously out over the horizon, you see two ships, golden ships, coming at you in a pincer formation. Leon, do you want to tell us about your boys?
You're my boys.
Aww.
Pretty much.
Okay, so I think this is a weird situation in which our in-character and out-of-character motivations are lined up, which is to say, in character, Violet is dying and you guys need to hurry up to get her to Welch the Blue. And out of character, I don't think we want to leave Leon or the audience in suspense much longer.
Do it.
I think the conceit of this episode is if you guys don't get there by the end, she dies.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
And we have some friends that are dropping by, right?
Jeez, Austin, I haven't even played the episode yet, and already you're like, this is how it ends.
There's a ticking clock, and it is life or death for Violet. So I mean, I can't do anything except fart. So her body is like 99% poison.
And our ship is 33% of a 3-ship array that might be converging on a point in the ocean.
Yeah. So last we left the crew, 2 golden ships were approaching you in sort of a pincer formation. And Isaac had asked you, are these guys with you? And they don't look like they're with you.
No, they're not.
They're normal glitter gold ships, not like hijacked ones, right? It's like the Zavala.
These are ships in the ocean.
Oh, in the ocean. That's right.
Whenever you guys like remember the names of things, I'm like, is that magic? Like, like how do you do that? What's a Zavala? All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Wait, Lauren, have you been laboring the whole last week under the impression that these were airships trying to crash into you and into the ocean?
I'm very tired. Leave me alone. Everything is sleepy.
Alias will approach Isaac and ask him, how hard would it be to, I don't know, lose the 2 of those ships?
I mean, they're in the direction where we're going. It's kind of hard to sneak past somebody who can see you.
I'm not suggesting sneaking past them. I'm just suggesting outmaneuvering them so we can gain more ground than they can catch up.
I think we could lose the bigger one, and he points out one of them, which is noticeably bigger and more heavily armored and armed than the other. But he says the other one is about the same as ours, so I don't know if we're going to be able to put any distance between us.
I would say still do that for the time being, since at least we can reduce their numbers and reduce the need for things to get too, out of hand.
Yeah, you want me to run away? Is that what you're saying?
Well, not away, just surely when you go yachting with friends, sometimes you try to outdo each other with maneuvers, I would assume, right?
I mean, usually whoever I go yachting with works for me or my dad. So nobody ever beats me, you know?
I was curious about, approaching this like some sort of yacht race or the such.
I mean, this is your guys' pirate adventure. If you want to outrace them, we can try.
Have I popped back into existence?
Yeah, you're back.
You're on my foot.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, Drop is there. A number of bloodstains on his nice coat. Violet's there, unconscious. Vinny's there, holding a glowing apple. And Alias is there, holding a sword. And then there's Isaac steering the ship. Everyone else is below deck.
Mm-hmm.
So, Austin, the guns on the ship, my memory's failing me, are they harpoons, did you say?
Mm-hmm. All the guns you've seen on all of the ships in the campaign are harpoon guns.
Right.
Because ostensibly they would be for, like, whaling.
Right. So, in other words, it'd probably be pretty easy to fix something onto the end of a harpoon.
You know what? I think I have just as much of an idea of whether or not that would work as you do, Johnny.
I just mean, they're sharp things, right? It's not like, they're not like cannonballs insofar as that I couldn't just I wouldn't be able to tie something to a cannonball and then be like, okay, I hope this works. But it's like,
y'all need to make some goddamn decisions.
okay. Then a drop is gonna tap Alias on the shoulder, and say, so listen, I've seen you do that magic grabby thing with your hand. Maybe not your hand, the magic hand thing. How far could you throw something or put something or...
My hand can only reach about 30-odd feet, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to get fairly close for me to do much with it.
Right. All I'm saying is the last time I was in the ocean, blood did a bad thing. And if we could somehow manipulate some of this blood on the deck here to be over there and drop just like points at the other ships.
I have a way we can get some blood over there, but we need something we can attach. I need an arrow, and I need something to affix a vial or some portion of blood to that arrow. And then I can shoot in the vicinity of those ships over there and get blood into the water, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I just, if we paint a little blood on the side of those ships, I think something bad might happen to it, but we could leverage it to our advantage. All right, well, Drop is going to search around for, I don't know, I guess that, something to...
I have this vial from Joan.
Oh, no, Drop shakes his hands and shakes his head and says, no, there's, and he gestures at the deck where Violet is lying and says, we've got a lot of blood.
Then put it in a container and give me a bow to attach it to, and I can fire it, Drop.
Drop is going to search around for something to mop up blood and a container in which to sort of squeeze it into.
I will confer with Kay if he has arrows I can borrow from him.
Yeah, sure, he has arrows. They're a bit big for your bow, but he's kind of using a great bow.
Okay.
Vinny's gonna run downstairs and say, Joan, give me a vial!
You want the vial for blood? You want this pickle jar?
I need it to be empty so I can put blood in it. That's not your blood, other blood. Give me, please.
All right, she gives you a vial.
All right, I run back upstairs and I give it to Alias.
What he will do is work with Drop to get a bit of Violet's blood into the vial.
If we're having trouble getting Violet's blood into the vial, a Drop is just like, just come here, and will, bleed himself.
Well, once Alias has ensured that everything's kind of in order, he's going to set up his arrow, his bow, set the arrow in it, draw, and try to shoot I'm going to shoot for the bow of the larger ship.
Is the larger ship a better idea? Because we can maybe outrun the larger ship.
It will, but if the larger ship sinks, then the smaller ship's going to have to deal with recovering people from the larger ship.
All right, as you guys pull into about bow range with the larger ship, you hear a magically amplified voice call out, "This is Captain White of the Blunderbuss and Captain Coyne of the Zyreka. Please lower your sails and prepare to be boarded for inspection."
I remember Captain Coyne. He's a dick.
Oh, wait, is this from that time that I was not around?
The Zyrika is the fight where Violet gored the captain into giving up, and
yeah.
the other ship is the one that was there in the dock when you guys stole the ship you're on.
Coming! Hurry up! I think they bought it.
Do I need to magically grenade them?
No, Alias sort of sighs and just sort of mutters under his breath, I hope the damage is minimal. and then lets the arrow fly towards the ship, and that's a 14 on the attack roll.
Pretty good.
You get the arrow to lodge itself against the ship and hopefully break the vial against it.
Yeah, it's much easier to hit the bigger ship as well. So
Right.
you smash the bloody vial against the side of that ship, against the blunderbuss, and blood trickles down it and into the ocean. And of course, you just did shoot a missile at a ship, a much more dangerous ship, and they immediately swivel all the harpoons at you and say, repeat, lower your sails and surrender.
No!
I'm going to turn to Isaac and say, it's probably a good idea that you stay as far away from that big ship as possible.
He goes, yeah, Captain White's kind of a dick. He was over for last glitter gold miss. He ate all the turkey.
All of it?
He don't play around.
Would they listen to you, Isaac, if you told them to do something?
Well, they would have. They work for me, but now you've just shot at them.
It was a nervous reaction.
Tell them it was a misunderstanding.
Tell them you were trying to hit a dolphin.
As soon as Lavinia says misunderstanding, you hear the sound of several harpoon guns going off and the harpoon sailing through the air and towards the Violet One. Let's see if they hit.
Duck.
Ooh.
One misses and splashes short in the water. Two other ones slam into the side of your ship.
Boom.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no, we messed up again.
Are there like ropes on them? Are they trying to like haul us in now?
Of course.
Okay. I gotta try and cut some ropes.
All right. From the other smaller ship, which begins circling around to join the fray, you hear the gnomish voice call out in the same amplified way. This is Captain Coin. I told you I'd get you, motherfuckers. Is that unicorn over there? I'm coming.
No.
Deception or
If you're trying to cut the ropes, roll.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Somebody with a sword.
My sword is +7. That's a 15.
Yep. You cut one.
Okay. I get 2 attacks around. Does that mean I get to roll again?
Sure.
All right.
Nice.
And that's a 23.
yeah.
Drop has a flashback to when he tried to cut the ropes on the Glitter Gold 9 in episode 2 and bollocksed it so phenomenally bad that he barely even winged them. And this time he just massacres these ropes and he's feeling real good about himself. He's grown. This has been his character arc.
Finally got those ropes, guys.
And they splash down into the water and you hear Captain White call up again. He goes, I feel like there's been a misunderstanding. I said to surrender and put down your sails and you have done neither of those things. If we're going to continue this relationship, we need to open the channels of communication and really listen to each other.
Drop calls out, what?
Isaac, tell them we're your prisoners.
He goes, I don't think they're going to buy that. You just shot at them.
I'm really good at lying. I'll back you up.
Everybody make perception rolls for me. Everybody who's conscious.
Oh, no.
I'd like to anyway, but
Oh, no.
Drop is good at it, yes. I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 2. Oh, my God. We're dead.
12.
12, that's not bad.
Nope, none of you, we were 7, 2, and 12. None of you roll high enough to notice the shadow moving under the water towards this.
Well, shouldn't we get advantage because we're expecting it?
No. Actually, what you see now is the people who are mounting an attack force on the decks to shoot more and come aboard. On the Zyrika, you see Captain Coin, who has his arm in a sling because of the wound he suffered from Violet last time you met. And you also see the gnome with the eye patch that Ziggy stabbed. And on the blunderbuss, you see Captain White, who now Lavinia realizes is the person during the heist. She put the tentacles in his mind. All these people have a reason to want to see you dead. So now that they're this close, I don't even know if Isaac could call them off.
Guys, should I try to grenade the boat? Should I do it? I'm not feeling confident in our current plan.
If you wish to do it, do it. I'm trying to get something else figured out here, Vinny.
What's going on with that shadow we didn't notice? Did we notice it yet? Is it doing a thing?
No, I'll let you know when you notice it.
Okay. Then I guess I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try shatter on the boat.
All right.
Shatter that boat.
Which boat?
Which boat?
Whichever one's gonna catch us first, or throw more things at us.
You guys started shit with the blunderbuss, so I'm assuming that's the closer one.
Okay, that one.
9 is the save that the boat tried, which is not great. Your shatter takes a big chunk out of the top deck and sends people and wood flying. You basically cannonballed it.
Cool.
And they are shocked, and I think you damaged one of the cannons.
That's good.
Okay, and I'm gonna yell, I have way more where that comes from, but I don't want to do it, so please leave. You can catch us later. Just go now. Go away. There's probably like a sea monster coming. Please just go. Bye. What can I roll? Can I roll intimidation on that?
They shoot like 6 more harpoons at you, dog. Miss, hit. So 2 more harpoons miss. I think one was from the damage and one was just they overshot you. And then another one hits into the violet one as the Zyreka pulls around, ready to broadside y'all.
The Zyreka is probably within like 120 feet at this point, I'm going to assume.
Sure.
I am going to point at the Zyreka and try to hit the mast with Firebolt. It's a 9, so it's probably not a hit.
Nope, it's wide. And I think it might have like hit a gnome or something. It's like, ah, my leg!
Well, if you want me to roll damage for it, I can.
The Zyreka holds about 30 people and the blunderbuss about 40, so I don't think I'm going to keep track of 70 gnomes' health.
I'm aware of that, but he probably took 14 fire damage then if that hit him.
The gnomes you've injured badly enough to hold a grudge. I'm going to need a separate sticky note for this.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I really want to live through this because I just gotta kill Captain Coin. Gotta hate him so much. Alright, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Captain Coin yells, man, I just hate that unicorn so much. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Too bad it's not here. Bye, leave.
Mm-hmm.
Violet gurgles on the deck.
All right.
At this point, NPCs are coming up from below deck. Like, do you guys need? Oh my god! It's like the community pizza gif. Donald Glover walks in with the pizza.
Yeah.
What do I do, Dad? What do I do, Dad? Help, Dad!
Vinny, what'd you do?
I was trying to be helpful.
Oh my gosh! All right, so people start coming up from under deck, and everyone's taking battle positions, pulling out bows and staffs and whatnot.
Ziggy, throw magic at them.
All right, yeah?
Yeah, just do it.
All right. What's the most fucked up spell I can have Ziggy cast?
Oh, jeez. That's a pretty good question, knowing what he's set up to be.
Which one? He says to you.
Whichever one seems more dangerous.
Which one? Austin says.
The big one.
All right. Ziggy points his staff at the blunderbuss, and bolts of purple energy shoot out above it. Deliberately, not as if he missed, but as if that was where he was aiming for. And from where they hit thin air, a cloud of purple gas begins to spew down and down over the deck of the ship, covering it. And you hear gnomes begin to cough and sputter and choke as this spot just spews more and more purple gas all over the deck of the blunderbuss.
Damn.
Is that cloud kill or is that something else?
Oh, you know it's cloud kill, my dog.
Oh shit. That's pretty vicious there.
That's gonna bite right into your death count, my dudes.
Okay, Austin, I'm gonna position myself on the side that Zyreka's coming in order to brace for borders.
Yeah, they look like they're trying to get a good beat on you because Isaac, with his nautical expertise, is keeping the blunderbuss between the ships so that can't happen. And the blunderbuss has had a bite taken out of it and its deck covered with really heinous, vile, evil poison. So you guys are in a pretty good position for being attacked by 2 ships. I guess everyone else is going to start pitching in. Sheriff K is going to start shooting bolts. Joan will start shooting some stuff. Anybody else pitching in? You guys this is like a full-on combat now, basically.
Alias is going to get his scimitar ready and cut the rope that is connected to the ship at the moment to take care of that. 22, so...
Ooh.
Yeah, you definitely cut it. But now the blunderbuss, of course, they're not idiots over there, nor are they totally helpless, so they're just going to fire everything they have. You guys are getting harpooned to hell and back. Here we go. Hit, miss, hit, hit. So 5 more. And I think those are going to start hitting people.
I'm already down, so don't hit me.
Yeah, can I have all the player characters make dexterity saving throws?
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
I really like that tone in your voice just now, Skitch. I really felt that.
20.
13.
Lavinia got the lowest, so she is the least able to dodge out of the way, and she is hit by shrapnel from one of the harpoons. So Lauren, roll yourself 2d10 damage.
Ow.
Shit.
As a harpoon slams into the deck and you're sprayed with giant wood shards.
That is horrible.
Oops.
Yeah. I mean, guys, we're getting close to the end of the campaign here. It's going to only get more dangerous from now on.
That's cool.
Nice. Only a 10.
10 damage as Lavinia is superficially shredded.
Ow.
But it looks like the people in the blunderbuss are beginning to succumb to the poison. You see a couple people tumble off or just jump off to escape from it. And you hear Captain White yelling to try to maintain order among his crew.
Guys, grab Violet, squeeze her like a sponge, and squirt poison into Captain Coin's eye.
I don't think that's how that works.
I forgot Violet. It's like a bioweapon at this point.
Right.
So, next thing Elias will do when he has a chance is to cast False Life on himself as a level 2 spell.
Mm-hmm.
And that will give him 10 temporary hit points for the time being.
Nice.
So,
What's going on with that other ship?
The Zyrika keeps trying to pull around to get a beat on you guys, but Isaac is very good at yachting. So he asks you, do you guys want to make a run for it now? We can get away from the blunderbuss, but we're not going to be able to pull away from the Zyrika.
try to get away from the blunderbuss at least.
Here is his vehicle proficiency roll. 7. Not great. So he does a little turn in, and he actually loses some of his good yachting angles, and the Zyrika starts to pull up. But you guys do get away from the floundering blunderbuss, which is too busy surviving to deal with you. So you have removed the blunderbuss from the situation, and you're pulling to the north to get away. As you guys pull away, and you're now on a one-on-one chase, in the distance, as you leave the blunderbuss behind, you hear a terrible, awful sound of exploding wood and screaming. And then you look in the back, you see spout after spout shooting up through it as it is riddled by these jets of noxious fluid which tear it apart from the inside, killing everybody on board before it collapses into the ocean.
Oh, guys, we killed them really good.
I'm pretty sure it's not just you guys.
We did purposefully shoot blood at the ship so that it would get eaten by the monster.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Look,
fair
I
enough.
had hoped that it would happen sooner, okay?
It doesn't have teleportation powers. It's got to get there.
Yeah, the next thing that Alias does when it gets around to his turn is to bolster up his defenses in case people just start jumping on board. So it's a little bit of a 1-2 punch on that.
It's getting close in the sense that gnomes could start jumping on because their bow is right almost against your stern. But basically jumping on one at a time is not going to do great when there's 10 of you waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like if a gnome tried to jump, Kay would shoot him, and then Tusk would stab them, and then Joan would freeze them, and then they would just get obliterated. So they're basically just trying to keep up at this point.
Oh, but still, if mostly also in case they start firing at us, is the other sort of thing. So.
It looks like they're considering firing at you. You see, they're close enough now you can see them on board talking. Captain Coin is talking with the guy with the eye patch, and he says, "All right, I've given you guys enough chances. I think you just killed my friends. I wanted to do the unicorn personally, but if this is how it's going to be, then I guess this is how it's going to be, because we're all clerics of Garl Glittergold, which means we all can do this." And all 30 people on ship fire magic missiles.
Alias will intersect in front of everyone and stand at the front as the spell starts casting. And as the first one starts to strike him, he uses a reaction to cast Shield, making him invulnerable to magic missile.
The thing about magic missile is that it's weak but never misses. So everyone that aimed at Alias just locks in and zooms right into his shield, not hurting anyone. But not all of them were aimed at Alias, unfortunately. So I think we're going to give some damage out. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
I know I am.
Why are you so mean?
Look, we're almost at the end, and there's ships, and one of us
I
is
know.
dying, so this wasn't going to go that well.
That's true.
Oh my god. 15 How in the fuck are you even going to survive this is my question.
Who?
Everyone besides Alias.
Yeah, Elias nailed it.
Yeah, Elias is totally unharmed, and I think so is Sildiel. They stand at the front with their shields and try to block as many people as they can.
Again, that's each person gets that individually, or
Yep.
Woo!
Is Vinny dead?
I mean, like, I'm like dead now, so
Drop.
I can't read that. What does that say?
37.
37.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
dead too.
All right, Drop and Lavinia go down in a hail of magic missiles, bleeding from all over. Where do you want to take your mortal wound there, Lavinia? Any preferences?
Eh.
I think you throw up your hands to protect your face, and the one that gets you just shatters your hand on all the fingers in your playing hand.
No, that seems extra mean. I don't think that's cool.
I asked.
Okay, fine. I'm all in my torso.
Okay. See, you just want to get Vita. You just want to get Corleoned. Oh God, no one's old enough to know what that means.
I do.
Okay.
Also, I'm pretty sure everyone's like older, except for me.
3 of us are unconscious right now.
Oh, geez, yeah. Drop. Any preferences for your wound?
Let's go big. Let's go head.
Ooh. Just leading into it.
No, so there's like a side angle shot, and it looks like a magic missile just goes straight through Drop's head. But as he falls, his head turns, and you see it actually went through the cheek, in one cheek and out the other, and maybe took a couple teeth with it. But when you see it, you're like, well, Drop just got his brains blown out by like a sniper shot. But as he hits the ground, you're like, well, he's not. It's a good dramatic misdirection. Yeah, you got it. But Drop and Lavinia go down, and Kay immediately throws his body over Lavinia to protect her.
Well, that's too late.
Well, he also got shot all the hell up. I think
That's true.
he probably lost the tip of his beak.
Oh.
Just like half an inch of it got blasted off. But Captain Coin says, it looks like some of you are still alive. We don't want to do that again, please. Listen, the dungeons in Glitter Gold Tower are very nice.
Can I just request that Ziggy fucks their whole world up?
Do you want to dramatically on the ground, bleeding from 15 missile wounds in your chest, reach out to Ziggy and
I'll be like, Ziggy, either heal me or fuck their whole world up.
All right, Ziggy does not have healing spells. He's a wizard. You know what happens?
Tell me.
I think Judy comes out from below deck, running and carrying a pickle jar. And as she gets closer, you can see it's filled with this gross, brown, viscous ooze, very unlike the clear seawater and the half a red crystal you threw into it. And she just throws it to Elias.
Catch? Yeah.
Elias catches it and sort of like looks at it curiously for just a brief moment.
It looks disgusting. It's just this brown, murky ooze, like something that Tim Curry would form out of.
I got that reference.
Can I do a quick on the spot, like, is this poison I'm holding in my hand sort of check?
I'm going to say that even if you botched, you know the poison crystal you put into that water has made that poison goo. Yes.
Okay, how close is the ship to us?
Their bow is almost touching your stern because they were chasing you and catching up.
Elias uses Mage's Hand to basically carry the jar over to the ship and drop it onto the deck to make it break.
All right, so you throw that down on their deck and it explodes, and everyone it coats immediately starts screaming and clawing at their hands because whatever activates that poison. So far, you've noticed only unicorn innards have done that, but it's what it is it's water soluble, and you have solubled it. You done solved it, and so they all immediately freak out. And Captain Coin's like, "You bastards! You'll pay for that." I missed the beginning of that sentence in my accent, but it came back at the end there. I got it. And then Ziggy holds his staff aloft, does a triumphant croaking noise as he begins shooting magic. Kay starts shooting arrows. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm just bleeding on the ground, so I don't know what you want from me.
I'm basically asking Elias how he joins this triumphant finale here.
Well, for like as a bonus, actually, because he can, he sort of like spins the scimitar, sort of extends it up to the air, and sort of a glimmer of like a shimmering light sort of envelops him as he sort of invokes the blade song to sort of shield him further. And then his free hand lifts, points at the captain, and he says, "You should have turned away a long time ago, Captain. and then fires off a firebolt straight at the captain with his main action.
Mm-hmm.
Not 56. A miss again. Jeez, let's move another 9 with firebolt.
It misses the captain, hits a gnome behind him, and at this point, the close fighters on your team, Sildiel, Tusk, Kay, jump to the other ship and just start meleeing, and it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
That's another 13 damage to that particular gnome.
Nice. Who likes drop the most?
What?
Which NPC likes drop the most? Because I want to have them stabilize drop.
It probably would have been Tusk.
Probably Tusk, yeah.
Then he did that before he went, just as Kay stabilized Vinny. They made sure you guys were okay.
Nice. Not dead. Big fan of being not dead.
I don't know. Didn't Tusk punch me once?
Yeah, there was an honorable moment of righteous anger between you, but then you came to an understanding.
Okay.
Because you were honest with him.
All right.
And then, well, at that point, Elias will use the advantage that he now has a speed of 40 to help, move and jump onto the other ship with his mother and crew. So,
Captain Coin goes to attack Alias with his golden spear.
Mm-hmm.
Miss
by a large margin.
He doesn't look like he's the greatest at combat. You think maybe he was like a prodigy at sailing, but like he got like C's in stab class.
Yep. But like it's one of the things where I sort of picture at least sort of effortlessly just sort of like deflect it with his sword, like instinctively. Do you want me to roll for my action against him?
Yep, all the NPCs are fighting all the NPCs. We're having the player characters fight the named NPC.
I still have my blade song up, so I have an AC of 17 at the moment. So Elias will sort of do a flourishing spin and try to slash his blade at the captain without really any concern for whether he's going to keep the captain alive or not.
Nice.
His attack is an 8, and Job sort of flies off and sort of pecks at the captain's face.
So advantage.
Yeah. So 24 on the second roll there.
Roll that damage, son.
That's just 6 damage, but it's slashing, so.
You give him a nice slash. Ziggy casts Shatter on the back of the ship, which blows like 8 gnomes into the water. Ziggy is probably one of the deadliest people you have, but he's almost out of slots because he's been casting up a storm.
As a point of notice, he has access to 5th level spells, so
yeah,
that makes a serious fucking business in technical terms.
Yeah, he tells you that he was the star pupil of Welch the Blue, which means he's probably pretty powerful. But just as a note, he's not going to be able to carry this whole thing by himself.
All right.
Sildiel is also holding her own. She's slashing with that rapier. She seems out of practice, but she has muscle memory. And then Captain Coin stabs at you. Misses again. This dude is not in the same class as Elias.
Yeah. This is sort of like Elias' reawakening of like remembering his practice from training back. So Elias attacks back. His best attack is a 10.
Nope.
Probably a miss. Yep. So they clash swords.
22.
Okay.
Got you this time.
Yep, you hit me.
You take 3 damage
off my temporary hit points. So I still have 7 temporary hit points.
It's like a paper cut.
You guys are like clashing swords dramatically. You slash him really good, and he like thrusts with all his might, and it just like hits you like right in the unarmored part of your chest, and you're just like pushed back like 2 inches, and you're like, it didn't even cut. Ow, that's gonna leave a bruise, you dick.
Effectively, it almost it looks like sort of shards of light sort of deflect off of his chest as sort of the false life that envelops him sort of chips away, but it protects his flesh from being cut. Elias counters with a 24.
Oh, man. So everyone on the ship is taking damage at every opportunity. It's a full-on Pirates of the Caribbean melee, and you've hit him yet again. So what I'm going to say is you're clearly the better fighter. Teo just did 8 more damage.
Yep, 8 more damage on him.
You've got this guy. The question is lethal or non-lethal?
I mean, as angry as Elias is that this guy's actions could have gravely wounded Drop and Vinny, he just cannot bring himself to just off him, especially given how much he's outclassing the captain. It just doesn't feel valid to outright kill him. Like, he will take him out to unconscious, but it won't do anything further than that. Same thing as what he did with Guy Fieri. Oh, wait, no, Guy. My mistake.
Oh, you're going to do the same thing you did to Guy?
You just sort of like down him, like, well, not necessarily in the neck, but just sort of like enough slashes, maybe a deep wound in his shoulder to disable him. Maybe I inadvertently cut his Achilles or something.
Ooh. I like that. I think part of it is he's outclassed, and part of it also is he was gored very badly by Violet in their fight. Mm-hmm. So he's just not on his game, and you just dominate him utterly in front of all his people who are also dying all around him. Mm-hmm. And I think the final move is, you do like a low slashing cool spin and take out his ankle, and he just collapses onto the deck in front of you. And he says, "Fine, just finish it. The monster will be here for you soon."
Elias sort of.
Oh yeah, the monster.
Elias sort of pulls his blade back, twirls it to get the blood off, sheaths it, and just sort of points down at the captain, and then says, "I'm not going to dignify you with that death, Captain."
Ooh, that's good.
I'm trying to think of how he can come back from such a devastating burn.
He can't.
I feel like he just cries.
Because, okay, so I was going to have one of the other gnomes grab Sildiel and make this like a dramatic hostage situation, but they're lawful good, and like they want to take you guys down for stealing their ships and killing their people, but they're not cowards and they're not backstabbers. So I think what they actually do, seeing their captain defeated, stand down and surrender and throw all their spears into the sea and let you guys, once again, leave Captain Coin in defeat.
He sort of points out to the men, it's like, if you call yourselves clerics, you should tend to his wounds before the monster gets to you. We have other business to deal with.
We blew our only spell slot on that magic missile.
You're terrible clerics. Tend to his wound anyway.
Listen, we only took that. It was a required course.
Also, what cleric learns magic missile? That's not even a divine spell. Oh yeah, that's the player getting to the top. Anyway, Elias just sort of scoffs because he doesn't care right now about these guys. They severely wounded now 2 of his friends and put his mother in grave danger, and he's just not having any of that. So as soon as he sort of established that, he's just going to check on his mother first and then return to the ship with her.
Sildiel has a couple of superficial scratches, but she also looks like maybe the happiest you've ever seen her. I don't even know if she's aware of it, but she has like a smile on her face, like she feels alive for the first time in hundreds of years, maybe. It's not that she doesn't like selling jewelry.
No. But this is what she was training to do beforehand. This was her line of work that she was trained up to be as a defender or guardian or something of Mithrandain. So I didn't understand that externally. And Leah's just sort of like is surprised because he hasn't seen her smile like that in a while, but tries to brush it off and get back to the ship with her promptly to check on Drop and Vinny and everyone.
As you guys go to say away, he yells, "We took a feat that lets us take 1 wizard spell."
That's even less impressive.
I think it's called Magic Initiate.
That was a waste of a feat, and you know it. You should have picked up Hex. It's a much better spell.
You guys just yell wizard taunts at each other.
Can Ziggy get in on the wizard taunts?
He says something super devastating in Bullywug. And you can tell he's very proud of himself, but tongues ran out, so they don't hear it.
It still makes me kind of like question. The only spell we know is Magic Missile. Like, what kind of clerics are you? Anyways.
It's idiot proof.
Unfortunately, that looks like you have a ship of idiots.
All right. So this time you actually have some competent warriors with you. So Tusk actually goes about like cutting all their sails down, throwing them in the ocean. He breaks their steering wheel and stuff. You guys left them more or less intact last time. Mm-hmm. Tusk does not make that mistake.
Oh no. Now they're not even going to get away.
And you actually see he has like a bunch of broken off spearheads like in his body. And like not only is he in no hurry to take them out, he seems like really proud. Like he keeps turning so that you can see all of his battle wounds.
Can Vinny give a really bloody thumbs up?
Yeah, Kay definitely tends to Lavinia first, and it's not life-threatening, but you have been like shot through the torso a number of times, which is more painful than anything. How human is your biology, Vinny? Do you think you're like vines in there?
Wouldn't this be a great time to find out?
Does anybody want to look at Vinny's wounds?
Alias probably will end up looking at her wounds to just confirm that, well, they're not life-threatening at the moment.
Yeah, I think what you see is a fusion of human and plant. Almost as if it started off as a human and has been infested with plant. It's like Cronenbergian in there. So she's bleeding red, And it looks like this would be much more serious for a human. But for her, it's like, this hurts. I'm not a big fan, but also you can just cut off branches of a tree and it's fine. So this is...
So it's not sap that she's bleeding, it's actually blood.
Yes.
So we can't bottle it and sell it.
So you can't turn me into
profit.
syrup.
Oh, geez, this is the worst.
I also like the image, like, during that fight, gnomes were, like, slip-sliding away on that gunk that Alias made in the pickle jar, and we're just, like, going overboard and shit. There's a lot to love about what just happened, except for Drop, who I think just lost a tooth or two. How are you feeling, Drop?
I don't know. Nobody's attended to me yet.
Tusk did.
Tusk did.
Tusk is posing.
Well, he comes over and he goes, "How glorious a battle. I see you have some highly distinctive scars, my friend. You should be honored."
Drop kind of like pokes a finger out.
I'm assuming I'm not healthy enough to cure wounds him.
Oh, jeez.
I think over the next couple of days, you guys will be able to pull yourself together because you're still going to the Cascades. So
Okay.
Yeah, Alias just sort of like winces a bit and drops him. It's like, and just sort of like tries to pull Drop from putting his finger through his cheek like that. It's like, you just rest, Drop. The worst of it is past. Well, the immediate threat is gone for now.
Drop goes to say something, but then just kind of like closes his mouth, looks a little miserable, and just like drools a little bit of blood outside the holes in his face.
yeah. So over the next couple of days, you guys sleep. Vinny gets her spell slots back. She cure wounds everybody, and I think Drop ends up with like small starburst scars on each of his cheeks. So it's not like we haven't left him absolutely disfigured. I think actually it's probably like a really handsome scar.
Badass pair of scars, yeah.
Like dimples.
Yeah, like war dimples.
And I have a feeling that during the intermittent days, Sildiel's probably going to be inspired to do some duels with Alias, like just sort of like practice swordplay and stuff like that, among other things.
So can we ballpark our hit point levels then?
Everybody's at full health, and everyone just leveled up to level 5, I believe.
And I rolled minimum for my hit points for the next level, so I'm actually at 27 hit points at level 5.
Oh no!
Which is why I have False Life as a spell, because I need extra hit points.
Yeah, Elias is a glass cannon. But yeah, we talked about Elias's level up. He got spells and sword stuff from his mom. They're training to be blade singers. It's really cool. They're like teleporting around the ship, fighting like Naruto characters. Lavinia, have you eaten your apple?
I do now.
So just some random night you remember you have it?
Well, when I could like move, yeah.
All right, so you munch into that apple and you get Detect Thoughts and Tongues, I believe, were the spells you chose?
Yes. And it might sound dumb, but I did keep Comprehend Languages just because you can read written languages with Comprehend Languages, but you can't with tongues.
And Drop, what did you get for your level up?
My martial arts are now D6 instead of D4, so I punch harder.
Cool.
I gain a second attack and also Stunning Strike, which allows me to pop a key point to make the target succeed on Constitution or be stunned until the end of my next turn.
I like that. I think that comes from probably training Tusk, where he starts like dominating you in the fight pretty hard, and then you're like, nope, just gonna do my Stunning Strike, bitch.
I don't know why, but that makes me think of Scintillating Shell.
The flail snail. So does anybody want to do anything on the trip to the Cascades? Because we spent a lot of time on that fight that didn't need to be a fight, but that's how they happen.
Listen, we're bad at stuff and things.
I want to take an opportunity to talk to Joan alone if I can get it.
Joan alone. Yeah, what's up?
So I sort of want to say, like, I've got a couple of things to talk to you about.
Yes? What do you need to know?
Number one, I met your friends.
I do not have friends.
And Drop tries really hard to wink because he's seen other people do it. Your old friends.
Let us speak plainly. Time is short and your friend is dying.
I met the Blackhearts.
I think everyone has. I believe Violet stabbed one of them.
They saved me.
I have heard.
And we had a talk about what they think happened between you guys. But I'm not really sure who's telling me the most truth, but I saw what happened in the Temple of Primus, too. Was that the Gesh? Is that the thing that nobody's talking about? Because nothing happened to you. You didn't look any different. But I'm gonna guess that maybe as a group you all had a conversation with someone.
I think you already know that I cannot tell you. I think this would be a good time for Vinny to enter this conversation.
And Vinny shows up. Hey, it's me, Vinny. Everyone's favorite. It's like just like random. She Kramers her way into the scene.
She's like, my belly hurts, but it's also full of apple.
Basically, yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? I don't have anything weird I want to do. Not at all. Don't mind me.
We are not minding you, little leaf.
Although, really, I actually wanted to talk to Alias about it before.
Guys, do you have 20 minutes before Violet dies?
Don't do it.
Jeez, Austin, just like, let's shove the plot off to the side. It's not like we're going there. No. If we're going to have a conversation, we better slow the boat down.
It's a very good point. I'm just saying.
I understand it. Basically, if Vinny were to talk to Elias about what happened, I'll abridge what Elias's response would have been. He would have been, "Oh, that's a really clever idea. You should do it, Vinny."
Okay. So I guess while Joan's talking to Drop, I'm just gonna try and wiggle my way in there. Just act like I'm like, this is a conversation I'm listening in on for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm small. Ignore me.
Play the distraction song while you detect thoughts. That's basically what you're doing.
Just a lot of that. But I'm doing it. I'm casting Detect Thoughts on Joan.
All right, so Drop is asking her about the Blackheart stuff, and you just walk up behind her, and you pluck on your lute a little bit, and suddenly you're seeing Joan's thoughts from her perspective. I think you probably get like a grainy old footage, like old film reel stuff of some of her earlier life. You see her standing at the front of a congregation of drow, and they're all cheering, and she has like a sniveling gnome at her feet, and she tosses him into a pit of spiders as he's torn apart.
Woo!
If fast forwards, you see her sitting outside a jail cell. She has her hand through the bars, and she's holding the hand of a kobold in rags on the other side, and they're just sitting on the ground, just talking about whatever. It doesn't matter. And then it fast forwards, and you see them getting turned down by the leader of the orcs, by the leader of the Kuatoa, by the leader of the gnolls and the goblins for whatever they're trying to do. Everyone's just shaking their heads, and they're looking frustrated. And then you see, from her perspective, sitting on the floor of the Temple of Primus, cradling Lita in her arms as she dies. And then you hear from behind her, because you're seeing all of this from Joan's perspective, and you hear a voice that is not familiar to you, but is familiar to our audience and some of our other characters, which is the entity I guess we're calling Billy, as it offers the same spiel you've heard a couple times now. Don't tell anyone. Just say those 4 words, and not only will I fix you, make you better than you ever were, I'll also grant your heart's deepest desire. And everyone readily agrees to the heart's deepest desire thing, except for Joan, who asks what that is. She wants to know what he's talking about before it's granted. And the voice reveals that deep in their hearts, what they all want more than anything is to end the practice of sacrifice to dark gods. And the voice tells them, if they say those words, that will end. He will tear a hole into that plane, restore their bodies, and no one will ever need to make a sacrifice to a god as long as they live, as long as their 4 lives connect to this portal. And they agree to that. But Joan says she doesn't want her body to be better than it was. She says she wants to accept the consequences of her life and how she's lived it up till now. She is happy with her friends being saved, but she doesn't want anything special for herself.
Aww.
And then you see from her perspective as everything changes and they stomp the stuffing out of Swift Justice, and then they leave, and then everything's happy for a long time. You see just all these like home movies from Joan's perspective of them all like laughing and talking and going around to civilizations and checking and seeing that, like, yes, requests for sacrifices to the gods have stopped. Like, Groomsh doesn't seem to want sacrifices. None of the Kuatoa's weak sea gods. The gnolls and the goblins seem pacified. Everything's great. And they start talking about what an amazing blessing all of this has been. And Joan explains to Lita that in drow language, in Undercommon, they have a word for a blessing born from a sacrifice. The thing you get for what you give. And that word is Zavala.
Oh my god.
And so that's what they call the voice. They say to each other, thanks Zavala, that everything's better now. We're so powerful. We've accomplished all our goals. Our cultures are saved. It's all thanks to Zavala. And eventually you see them write that on their ship. And then you see from her perspective as they see the first airship flying overhead. And you see them investigating the portal and the gnomes taking stuff out of it. And you see the angry conversation about what they should do about it. And that Fox thinks they should kill all the gnomes and take all their stuff and throw it back in because they're messing up all the hard work they did. And whatever they've done, the deal they've made with Zavala is throwing everything out of whack. And now the seas are rising and they don't know the exact correlation between those things. They haven't figured out the cause and effect. Fox is absolutely convinced it's their fault. And Joan thinks, no, it's our fault. We did it first, obviously. And they just can't come to any agreement. And it escalates. And she stabs him and leaves. And at that point, Joan turns and grabs Vinny by the front of her shirt in present times and hauls her up for just a moment before her weak twig arms give out and she drops Vinny. She's like, I meant that to be more intimidating. I overestimated my strength. I am sorry.
It's okay. I guess you know. I guess you figured it out.
I figured out that you were in my mind. How was it?
It was educational. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm leaving. Bye. Then he runs up the stairs.
And then Joan turns to Drop and says, whatever your questions were, I think Little Leaf has the answers now.
I still prefer the name Billy.
Yeah, I like Billy too. Now, off screen, I think all the characters share information. I didn't think everybody knows about the voice and the portals and the deals and all the mechanics of all the lore. Unless anybody wants to be left out deliberately, I think everyone's caught up and on the same page vis-a-vis the underpinnings of what's going on in Lorelei. Does anybody have any specific lore questions?
I guess one thing that I would want to do would be either an investigation or arcana to try to infer something about, for example, if a Gesh is violated, does it remove the portal? But I don't know if that would be something I could infer through arcana or not.
Yeah, sure, roll.
20?
Yeah. You think if someone violated the Gesh, they would drop dead, and if they were the only one connected to the portal, it would close. Yes.
Right, okay.
In the case of the Black Hearts, there are 4 people, so
right.
It would not instantly close.
Which is why Joan's conclusion as I and everyone else involved in this have to die. So that sort of clarifies for me. I mean, is Joan even with us, or is this the PCs at the moment?
It's up to you.
Okay, I figured it'd just be Drop, Lavinia, and myself kind of chatting right now, and just say, well, this would explain why Joan believes what she does in terms of how to fix this. But there's no guarantee that the portal that might be causing the flooding, if it is a portal causing the flooding, is connected to her and the Blackheart specifically. But I suppose we can mull over this in a few days.
Drop's a little hung up. He's like, negative energy? Negative... When would I have been exposed to negative plane energy?
Only Drop knows the story about his childhood,
yeah.
And it's because you guys weren't privy to that conversation. Is that only Drop's question, or does Johnny want it explained as well?
Oh no, Drop is just kind of like racking his memory, trying to imagine at one point in time, because for his entire life he's just been, he's just accepted that his life has been this way. And now presumably Vinny has mentioned that Ilona was like, oh yeah, Drop, oh jeez. he got close to something bad.
The only other thing that Alias could think of is that he's fairly certain that the portal that opened that allowed him to enter here from the Feywild has nothing to do with this, because he's never been approached by an entity asking him for that he's aware of. So
yeah, when Vinny asked if portals could happen without intervention, she said sometimes they form like hurricanes, like natural disasters, and that was that's how Alias got here.
Right. I mean, that's something Alias was cognizant of. He sort of thought of like, wow, this is a whole different beast here.
Yeah, Drop's just a little bit upset at the thought that his life could have been something else.
He could have been that door-to-door salesman he always wanted to be.
Yeah. He could have been the best moss salesman on the Tiger Island.
Elise then asks Vinny and Drop, have you two been able to check on Violet to see if she's still at least with us? I hope we're close to the Cascades soon.
Drop says, I just remembered something I have to do. And goes to check on Violet.
Violet is on death's door. Like, is she, when you walk over, you don't think she's breathing, and then you have to get right down on her tummy to feel that it's moving at all. Mm-hmm. And you guys are coming up to the Cascades. As we've talked about before, and as Ziggy and Joan will fill you in, because that's where they're from, the Cascades are kind of like Hawaii. So like they're like a series of islands, but most of them are uninhabitable because the Kuatoa, which are just, they cannot be bargained or reasoned with. They just basically capture people on sight with their kind of hook weapons and drag them off God knows where. Except for one island, which is controlled by the Drow. It has a underground entrance to the Underdark, where the Drow city of Calypsia and the Bullywug, I guess we'll call it a village of Hole in the Earth is. That's the one you guys are going to. And as you guys get closer, you notice that's probably the only option you would have anyway, because as the waters have risen, all the other islands in the Cascades have gone under, and you see like some of the tops of them poking up. Like what used to be like the highest hills on these islands is now just like a little iceberg land sticking up. 5
Kuatoa just sitting on top of it, like, oh no.
I was thinking 2 with like a half-soaked picnic.
Oh, that's cute. But Isaac moves between them. If this was Violet or Vinny driving, I'd have like a really cool check to see you guys dodge these things. But nah, he handles it pretty well. You also notice some whirlpools as you drive by them, and you guys talk about it and decide that it's probably whatever entrances to the Underdark were on those islands for the Kuatoa, because they also live underground, must be down there, and the water's draining in and filling those tunnels and probably drowning those cities.
Right, so prime real estate then.
Yeah. And you also remember, I think back in episode like 5 or 6, when Alias talked to Joan, he asked what the Drow were doing about the rising water. And she said something along the lines of, they're working on it, which you didn't really know what that meant at the time. But as you guys approach where you're going, or where Joan shows Isaac where to go, you see what working on it constitutes. And it is on the horizon, an enormous black dome just rising out of the water, just the top half of it like a crescent.
Nice.
And you get closer and closer, and you see that you can't see through it. It's just pure blackness. But Joan tells you that the island's on the other side of that.
Nice.
You can see it's made from infinity million strands of spider web, black spider web that they've fashioned over the entire island like a shield. And there must be some kind of magic involved at some point in the process, because it looks like it would have taken, years to erect. And if you had gotten here earlier, it would not have been finished. But now it is.
The spider dome, huh?
So do we knock?
You see a couple of Kuatoa climbing it and just like scurrying around on it, banging on it with their weapons, which we've discussed before, are usually like curved, like weapons to grab things, like hooks and just like sticks with like fishing hooks on the ends and stuff. And they're just whacking at it like ineffectually. When they see you coming, they like roll down the dome and into the water, or they scurry off to get away. They don't seem interested in tangling with a ship full of 20 killers.
So the island is inside of that dome, or?
Yes.
Vinny's I'm assuming Joan's like under deck because reasons.
It's night.
Yeah, but she's like in exile.
Yeah, if there were other Drow, she would definitely hide, but now you guys are just floating outside a giant black dome of spiderweb.
Hey Joan, how do we get inside the spiderwebs?
I have not been back in decades. I do not know the secret of this construction.
You guys have 9 minutes to save me, so I'm just going to start working on my last words.
The confidence.
Sorry, but I don't see how this works, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I the only thing I think we can do is first get closer.
Isaac pulls you right up alongside it. You can reach off the deck and touch it.
Vinny's going to knock.
Yeah, it feels weird. It's kind of almost like spongy, like it has give to it, which you weren't expecting. But it does not make a knock noise because of that.
Is it sticky?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, a little sticky.
Yeah.
And getting up close to it, can we now see through it at all? Is it just really dense fibrous connections, or is it like a wall?
Both. No, you can't see through it, and yes, it's a dense fibrous connections.
Right, it's meant to be watertight.
Yep.
Because it's meant to be able to hold the waters if they swallow the entire planet up. Oh, jeez.
Loth takes care of her own.
Alias just sort of takes a moment, like, I could do something to possibly get on the other side of that, but I'd be gone for at least an hour.
Oh, I love it.
Drop says, I could probably go with you, but I'd have to, I don't know, rest before we came back.
I would need to rest as well, Drop.
I've only done it the once.
Wait, you can do it as well?
Now?
Oh, right. All right. Well, I can't guarantee there's land on the other side, but
I'm good at falling.
right. Okay. And Alias just looks to his mother and says, Mother, you don't need to come along if you don't wish, and if you want to stay here and make sure things are safe on the ship with the others, but I need to get to the other side of this barrier to see if there's a way to get us in.
She hugs you, and while you guys are hugging, she says in your ear, "Don't be silly, dear." And she teleports inside.
Well, and then at that point, Alias moves and Faye jumps straight through the barrier into the structure.
Drop says, I'll be right there, and then wanders over to Ziggy.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Ziggy, I know that we haven't had any dialogue scenes together in the show. But if I run into any of the bullywugs, is there, like, something I can tell them or show them or, like, some weird hand signal? And Drop just does this, like, really obtuse hand signal.
Drop, if you grab him, you can take him with you. Alias did it to me once.
You can actually carry him in with you.
Hey, Ziggy, do you want to come for a trip?
Just put him in a headlock and go.
Yeah.
Does Alias want to take Lavinia as well?
Somebody's got to stay guard with the ship.
How about the other 7 NPCs?
Oh, that's true.
All right. If Vinny wants to come with, then she has been picked up by Alias like a very large potato.
I was gonna say piggybacking, but that works too.
The largest potato.
I just picture like Vinny like standing upright, and then like her character sprite just sort of rotates 90 degrees and just disappears with Alias.
Okay, so I guess Drop is taking Ziggy, and also taking an opportunity when everybody's in the Feywild to say, you have a really beautiful home plane.
All right, so Drop, Alias, Lavinia, Sildiel, and Ziggy land on an idyllic tropical beach. Like coconuts, palm trees, the whole 9 yards. It's just a wonderful, peaceful beach, which just so happens to be encased in a dome of pure blackness so that no one without dark vision can see a thing, which I think is just Drop.
Yeah.
I can't see, guys.
Drop, hold my hand.
Alias just sort of raises his hand and snaps it and casts light to kind of hover.
Or that.
Ow, my eyes!
Ziggy says, well, I wasn't expecting this, but I guess follow me. I can take you to my house.
Is that where we're gonna heal Violet?
I mean, Welch the Blue doesn't live in my house, but it's the same village, so she'll be there. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I did not see this coming, this particular arrangement of characters. I thought someone would bring Violet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to carry Violet. That's the problem.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to carry her.
So you guys walk up the beach.
You have 4 minutes.
Ziggy takes you behind some bushes and stuff into a forested area, and behind some thorns and some pretty ugly poisonous plants and stuff that guard the entrance to the Underdark. And he just brushes those aside. He knows exactly where to go. So he leads you in and into a tunnel that leads deep below this island. And there are no lanterns or lights or anything because everyone who lives down here has dark vision, but Alias has already taken care of that, so you guys are fine. So you begin your descent under the earth, and nothing much of note happens. No one down here has any reason to guard any of this because no one should be getting in. So your delve deep below Lorelei is actually pretty uneventful, which is a nice change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I would ask if you guys want to have any conversations, but wow, we have to save Violet.
Yes.
But there is no time to waste. So you guys eventually find yourself at like a 2-way fork. And on one side of the fork, it just drops like at a severe angle. And Ziggy tells you all that's the way to Calypsia, the Drow City. Don't go there. They don't take kindly to strangers under the best circumstances. They would kill you on sight, almost certainly, unless they had a particular reason not to, because only Drow ever come and go, and none of you are Drow. So it's probably a bad idea. This one goes to Hole in the Earth, much friendlier. Let's go this way.
Okay.
Good talk. He takes you guys down that path. which is almost like horizontal. Like it seems like you've stopped going down. And so he takes you into what becomes like a much danker cave system. Yeah. Stop. It's there's like slime and algae, and there's like more plant life and stuff. You get the sense that there's more life in here in general because of water and
bullywugs,
bacteria, organisms. Yes. Yeah, the stuff of life. And in the distance, you begin to hear a cacophonous noise. You're not even sure what it is. You've never heard anything like it.
Is it a lot of ribbits?
No, it's a grinding noise.
Oh.
And Ziggy tells you that's Welch's machine. She works on these machines like all hours of the day and night. Like sometimes she disappears for weeks and people don't see her at all. She's just building and maintaining these enormous machines, and that's kind of her thing. She's automated the food and water, atmosphere, just like everything about the society has increased like 1,000-fold in like efficiency and livability since she came. But it's also like deafening in these tunnels. I assume nobody has any thoughts on that. Let's keep going, huh?
Yeah, just let's go. Let's do it.
We kind of we're on a schedule here.
Yeah, I'm trying to like build some atmosphere of this city, but like you guys are just running.
Well, you're sucking up some of our time doing it.
Yeah, you're like, people keep coming towards you. You're like, hey, look at this local culture, and you just knock them aside. You kick the bowls out of their hands. Like, we don't have any time for any of this set dressing. Get out of our way. We got a unicorn to save.
We got next episode for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you guys start just running past actually like bullywugs, like guards, and like not official city guards, but like just whoever is sitting near the entrance. You just like see them stand up and start to walk towards you. Like, hail and well met, adventurers! Welcome to our humble. You just knock them down and just run by them.
And he yells, "I'm sorry!"
But you guys burst into Hole in the Earth, which is a pretty small village. I would say it's a little smaller than Spira, which to this point was the smallest civilization you guys had met. It seems like kind of a small town rural vibe, except for those cacophonous machines in the distance. And that's the direction you head. You don't even have to ask Ziggy where to go. You're just going towards the noise. Mm-hmm. And at some point, you guys get to the entrance to where those sounds are coming from. And there is a bullywug standing outside. The largest bullywug you've ever seen, just absolutely colossal and dangerous looking. And he's kind of leaning against a boat anchor, like a full-sized keep ships from moving anchor. And he's leaning against it, but also looks as if he's prepared to wield it like a weapon if it came to that.
What a cool frog.
You see him and Ziggy conversing in bullywug. And after a while, that bullywug says, "Only one guest at a time. Welch is very busy. Who wants to go in and speak with her?"
How about the only person here who speaks the language?
Well, I can too.
Besides Ziggy.
Oh, besides Ziggy?
Yeah, Ziggy's not a guest.
Oh, then I'm going with Ziggy. And on the way in, I guess I'll cast tongues.
So you guys make it into Welch the Blue's lab. There's like a giant stone door, and the enormous bullywug in front of it kind of rolls the circular door out of the way so that you guys can enter. And you enter the workshop of Welch the Blue. And even now you can see just this entire cave. It's like this enormous hangar-sized cave is just filled with giant screaming, clacking, pistoning machines. And there's one bullywug running from machine to machine with like a giant oversized socket wrench, just like turning stuff. And she's also got tables and tables filled with jars and other scientific equipment. And as you guys approach her to save Violet's life, I think your episode comes to an end. And the rest of you, outside, the enormous bullywug says to you, "While your friend's in there, I think you guys should go wait in the library." And he points you to another area. He goes, we don't really get visitors, so we don't have a waiting room. And Alias, you were bapped with tongues, so you can understand him. Ziggy bapped you before he left. So he says, why don't you guys go wait in there and just like chill until your friend gets out. I don't know how long it's going to be.
That's fair enough. Thank you.
So as you guys walk down kind of a longer hallway, you're passing some other bullywugs who are just flabbergasted at your appearance. They don't get visitors or strangers, let alone such racially diverse strangers. You guys walk down this pathway and into what you understand is the library. And it takes you a while because you're hearing these just terrible and awesome machine noises. But you do begin to detect an undercurrent, like a hint of music in the library. And as you walk in, you see that some of the books, there's books not only on the shelves, obviously, because it's a library, but some are flying through the air, just like lazily. And you guys go towards the sound of the music, and you see the only person who is in this library, who is sitting in a chair, which is off the ground,
surrounded by a slowly rotating maelstrom of books and musical instruments which are playing themselves, apparently to drown out the sound of the machines while he reads.
A tiefling?
Skitch, you know me so well.
Ah!
Yes, I do. And Elias will just sort of say, Professor Chance, I presume.
I set my sail, fly the wind, it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, clouds are making way for me, I'm coming home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me, Mother, I'm here.
As always, I'd like to thank Overclocked Remix for our theme music, which includes Tears in Rain, an arrangement of Seattle from Deus Ex Invisible War, Dream Eater Mix, an arrangement of the Lavender Town theme from Pokemon, and Ah Kid Pella, an arrangement of Setting Sail Coming Home from Bastion. Executive producers for the month of December 2016 are Extellaris, Kirsten Haslinger, Joseph Timbrello, Andrew Grothin, Jade, The Cult of Gorfanax, Allison Ansell, Tarka, Luke Powers, Michael Goodell, Brent, Irving Royale, Brady Warner, Kitty Foe, James Neely, Eugene, Marissa Donaldson, David Page, Melanie Joe, Lana Seawolf, Toby Gleason Stack, Ruby Offer, Matthew Weber, Sarah Hanley, Zenith Will Rule, Melissa Booker, Cameron Abbas, Dylan, Anna Stuhlfarer, Dashon the Rage Monster, Giorgio Renna, Harrison Andrew, Christopher Charlo, Jorit, Viger Arnston, Cody Jackson, King Waza, August Rue, Ingmar Gremmen, and Paul Mullen. If you want to support the show directly, you can join in on this list of names at patreon.com/Austin Yorsky, or you can find Leon at patreon.com/RenegadeCut. You can also help us out by rating, commenting, liking, or subscribing to us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, or wherever else you found the show. But as the Christmas season approaches, consider that the greatest gift you can give us is telling your friends, family, and loved ones to listen to our dang show.
The sons of Bor slew the giant, lo, where he fell there gushed forth so much blood out of his wounds that with it they drowned all the race of the Rhine giants, save that one, whom giants call Bergelmir, escaped with his household. He went upon his ship one, and his wife with him, and they were safe there.